Lance by Chance. The untold story of him wrestling as a Von Erich. LanceByChance.com.
Fans, welcome back for another week of Working Fans Wednesday. This is Working Fans Wednesday, episode 15. I'm producer Joe. We will be joined shortly by the man called Dave and Lord willing AJ Strange Brew. Tonight, we will be giving away that Pro Wrestling Tees documentary Behind the Merch, so be sure to drop the answer in the comments. Who did Josh DeBoard want to win the Royal Rumble? Now, also, tonight we will be talking AEW, MLW, and NXT cards, as well as our live 531 on the best pure heels. Now, if you want to find us on social media, as always, on Twitter and on Twitch, we are at Fans Working. It is the Working Fans Podcast Facebook page. Our email, workingfanswrestlingpod@gmail.com. Email us over there and get these beautiful shirts and stickers we have made. Our Instagram is workingfanswrestling_pod. Our YouTube, go over and subscribe there, is youtube.com/Working Fans Wrestling Podcast. Our website, workingfanspodcast.com, and be sure to check out what-the-buzz.com. Our Patreon, patreon.com/Working Fans Podcast. Our comedy podcast releases every Tuesday, while our wrestling podcast releases every Thursday. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, any of the major podcast providers. Now, we are brought to you by a variety of sponsors. First up, 482 Designs, FOUR82designs@gmail.com. If you need any shirts printed up, any stickers, email Kevin over there. He can get them screen printed for you. Now, we are also brought to you by WrestleTopia. You've seen JD Sloan on the show. WrestleTopia on Facebook, at WrestleTopia on Twitter. You saw the commercial at the beginning of this show, Lance by Chance, written by Vinnie Berry. That is the story of how Lance Von Erich came into the wrestling community. You might think on the surface, why would I be interested in Lance Von Erich? But Kevin Vaughn made such an incredible journey from not even a wrestling fan to being a member of the Von Erich family and existing after that. And arguably the most interesting parts of this book are his life outside of wrestling. So you can share it with anybody, not even a wrestling fan, but it helps if they're a wrestling fan. Now, we are on The Buzz. You're on the Facebook page. That is, go like us over at The Buzz. Their website, as I mentioned earlier, is what-the-buzz.com. Their Twitter is at WTBDOTCOM at WTB.com. Catch up with all the news, all the happenings over there. And if you want to subscribe to their YouTube page, which you better, because we got a giveaway coming up based on YouTube subscriptions, that is youtube.com/C/TheBuzz2020.
Get the Lambo car, house in the hills with the stars. Told you I'd raise the bar, told you that I go far. Baby, it's crystal clear. I'm not a souvenir. I'm not an accessory. I'm a necessity. So come and check me out now. I'm a necessity. So come and check me out now.
Guys, it took me long enough to get my mic fixed. How are we doing today, fellas?
Hey!
Oh, great.
The crowd
nice
goes
meeting.
wild.
Usually the crowd goes mild.
Yeah, usually.
Yeah, what are you gonna do? Baby, we're back. We're here.
I know we're late because my house is cold as fuck, and I'm trying to get the oil people here. They're not.
Fuck, I can't afford heat.
Yeah.
Ain't no money in this podcast business, folks. Gotta support your boys.
I know, Dave. Tell them about the giveaways we got going, and then we got to throw to AJ for something real quick.
Okay, so this week's giveaway, the prize is going to be the Pro Wrestling Tees documentary Behind the Merch. And how you get that is you need to answer the following question, which was on regularly scheduled hostilities last week. And that was, who did Josh DeBoard think was going to win the Royal Rumble? So tell us who Josh DeBoard picked to win the men's Royal Rumble.
Ooh,
And you're going to get that DVD at the end of this. Next week, we're giving away poems, a little book of poetry.
Lost City Highway.
Lost City Highways. I was going to say by Mr. Steal Your Girl, Jake St. John. And now how you get that, you're going to have to listen to Marital Nonsense. And you're going to have to tell us what Chuck's wife, Danae, what band shirt she's wearing.
Friday night.
Friday night, yeah.
Guys,
what time is that Friday night? You know I'm watching.
I'm going to say 7.
Guys, can we get that book signed by Jake St. John?
Oh, it's
Maybe.
signed and ready to go.
Oh, shit. There you go.
So
All
if
right.
you're trying to get your special lady
Mhm.
something for Valentine's
Or
Day,
a special
Hey,
man.
I'm woke. Oh,
You
yeah,
know
word,
what?
dude. We're not judging
Whatever.
you.
Yeah, whatever you want to do, baby. It's all good here. Working Fans Podcast. We're progressive. Speaking of progressive, AJ, hit us. What you got, baby?
Guys, if we get to 400 subscribers on YouTube for the Working Fans Podcast, we are going to give away Lance by Chance. This is the story of how Lance became one of the Von Erichs, ended up becoming the cousin, and his story through the career all the way from Portland through to Texas, done by Mr. Vincent Barry. And we're going to get you one of these copies. All you got to do is get us to 400 subscribers. 400. That's easy.
We're at
400
362.
subscribers.
I know that's
on.
38 away. And if
38.
you guys, I've read Lance by Chance, and it is an amazing book. Like the wrestling part of it is interesting,
Mhm.
but wait till the chapters about Africa, what he does outside of wrestling. The dude is still a world traveler right now. I can't say enough good about the book.
I don't want to give a spoiler, but he tells a story about meeting a good Mormon girl in Portland. Absolutely incredible. The tag team action with him and Bobby Yeager, absolutely phenomenal.
That ain't clickbait, folks. Check it out.
No, not at all. Now, guys, signature segment, the 5-3-1. Gonna play
We're
that.
going right into it. I didn't know you wanted to get nasty right away. Man's boilers, huh? On the fridge. We gotta get going. Move your ass.
Oh yeah, we gotta be in and out because if these people show up to fix my boiler, I gotta be out.
I know,
Hey, I said I wasn't going to give spoilers as to Portland. Stop talking about In and Out.
Chris Zeltzer's on here somewhere. I saw him in the comments.
Yeah, he called me a nerd earlier. We see you out.
Yeah. Pure heel, baby. That's a pure heel right there. Hey,
Jason
Jason
Lang.
Lang. What's up, baby?
Now
Big
we're
boy.
talking
Big,
about pure
Big
heels this
David
week,
Boy.
That's what they call
and
me in
you're
the streets.
not allowed to put AJ Strangebrew on your list.
No. That's a
I
shoot
am a
list.
pure heel, though.
That's
I am
separate.
a pure heel.
That's a separate list. Don't worry about that.
Now, AJ, do you want to start off first since I believe you picked this list?
Yeah.
Absolutely. So most of my list is actually going to be from the past. I think one of the greatest pure heels of all time is Tully Blanchard. Very few people could cut a heel promo with the intensity and with the veracity of Tully Blanchard when the Horsemen were first starting off. Then I'm going to come modern with you. I think one of the best pure heels in the business right now is Jay White. Anybody who's been checking out New Japan Pro Wrestling or has seen Jay White work, the guy is just pure dynamite as a heel. Another one from the past, the original Sheik. I think the original Sheik was one of the best heels when it comes, and I'm not talking about the Iron Sheik people. I know you got you WWF fans out there that think I'm going Iron Sheik. The original Sheik, Sabu's uncle, the fireball throwing, menacing Middle Eastern son of a bitch, the original Sheik. Now, another pure heel
I'm a
that
heel.
is one of
I'll
my
be getting him
all-time
this
favorites,
dick. Yeah.
Ivan Koloff. People think of Nikita Koloff. Uncle Ivan as a heel when he was being the Russian just leader of the group was one of the best heels to me in the history of wrestling. Another one who was a great heel back in the day was actually Ted DiBiase. Whether it was as the $1 Million Man or when he first turned heel in Mid-South, turning on the Junkyard Dog, turning on all the fans in Mid-South, it was an absolutely tremendous heel. And I believe I've got one more. My next favorite heel. I
Josh the
teeter-tottered on this. Yes. I teeter-tottered on this one. I almost put Baron Corbin on the list, but then I went away from him. My next favorite heel when he was a heel, Rowdy Piper, when he was a pure heel, was just one of the best heels in the business. In the mid-'80s, when he was attacking Hogan, one of the best heels in the business. Almost as good as Josh DeBoard.
Now, Dave, we got a couple comments here. You're
Fucking
bringing
asshole.
fan club tonight, and I hope you're ready for this.
All right. Yeah, baby. There's a lot of girls waiting for that animal to arrive. What can I tell you? I got it
And-
going on.
Here's another one.
Ask your wife, baby. I've been around. Am I a heel or a baby face? I have no idea.
I think you're a heel somewhere, man. Your fans are
I'm a
throwing
tweener.
you to the wolves in this comment section.
Them Lang
I
boys,
think
they wild.
I think you would be the baby face at this point.
Yeah. Well, so my heel list, first off, AJ, fuck you. I had Rowdy Piper and the Sheik. So I'm a little annoyed. You went first.
Hey,
now.
you guys sent me first.
So I'm gonna take Piper off, actually, because I do agree. I think Piper is one of the best heels. I got a replacement for Piper, so that's fine.
You're gonna throw Dr. D. David Schultz in there?
No, that's a good one though. That's a good one. All right, top heel list: Hulk Hogan. Although Hogan is one of the all-time greatest baby faces, I think he's also one of the all-time greatest heels. If you look what he did with the NWO, like that's the era that turned WCW around, and they actually beat WWE consistently for a long time. It was when Hogan was champ as a heel. Yeah, you had the help of Hall and Nash, but it wasn't until Hogan became a consistent heel that they never looked back. All right. Ric Flair, man, this guy, like when I was growing up and, the Four Horsemen, and I first saw this, I was like, I hated this guy because to me, I was used to WWF where it was all the good guys were winning. And I'm like, what's this group of bad guys? Is the world champion is Ric Flair? Nobody beats him? I was not able to wrap my brain around that. And I wanted this guy to lose to Dusty Rhodes or Magnum PA right away. So, Flair's also a top heel. Taking out Piper, I decided to put Terry Funk in there because Terry Funk to me in around 1989, especially that feud with Flair, when he was pile driving Ric Flair on a table, when he was putting a plastic bag over his head trying to suffocate him. To me, some of the most cutting edge and intense promos, Terry Funk has to make the list. Like AJ, I also got the Sheik in there. I think for the time period, into territories, throwing fireballs. I watched this guy versus Maniac Mark Lewin, who was also a heel at times, in the Cobo Hall and some tapes that I saw, and he started near riots. All right, last on the list. All right, given the time period, folks, all right, and given the insecurities in this country and in the world of homosexuality, this guy, Adrian Street, would prey on people's insecurities and cause near riots. All right. He was blowing kisses to people. And if that's not enough, if this guy wasn't doing enough bad things as a heel, he also trained AJ Strange.
It's easy for you to say.
Yeah, AJ Strange for his brief career. All right. Thankfully, AJ had a kid and stopped wrestling, but still, we almost had to deal with him on a much longer level, and that's because of Adrian Street. So, Adrian Street makes that list, baby.
Now, guys,
That's why he didn't make my list. That guy is clearly the greatest babyface of all time. He wasn't afraid to go after stereotypes. He wasn't afraid to train the legend that is AJ Strange Brew.
Hey, Truth be told, Joe, I'm gonna let you speak here. Truth be told, some of your best heels, I mean, you got to be brave and you got to be fearless. Like to do what he was doing in that time period, and like you didn't have fear, all right, and especially his wife too. They were a combo act, and hats off to him to pull that kind of heat. And I mean,
Like the
to
Ultimate
me,
Warrior.
to me, MJF is a great modern heel because Joe, you've been to Beyond Wrestling shows where I have too, where we watch some pie face kids, and you know he's not afraid to get real in your face heat. And to me, hey, you got to have some balls to do that. So.
Oh yeah, I remember the first time I saw MJF out at XWA. He comes to the ring, total heel persona, and then he's on the ring apron just staring at me. Just like this unapproving look. I look up and he's like, "What the fuck are you looking at?" And I was like, "Wow, I've never seen that good a delivery from somebody, especially so young." That's why he's the first guy on my list.
Nice.
Ted DiBiase is number 2. A little bit, mostly for the $1 Million Man, which I was familiar with. But now that I'm going back and watching more old Mid-South, that is a hell of a heel. Now, I've also got Tully Blanchard and I've got Ric Flair. Because like you said, Dave, when I was younger, I hated the Horsemen so much. Now that I'm older, I'm like, wow, they really worked me well.
Yeah.
And for that last heel, I got to give it to the Ultimate Warrior.
Whoa.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna say more so for what he did after wrestling. Because, I mean, he was an attraction if you were a kid. He was a character. He was the colors. But if you saw his speech at UConn, where he told a room full of students that queering doesn't make the world go round, that is a man's actual belief, and that makes him, it's got to make him the top heel. Plus, he's talked shit on any number of people in the business that didn't agree with him, and it's just a weird position to take, so that's why I had to put him at number 5.
All right. If we were going to go with top heels outside of their actual character, we might have. No one's going to be Brett. Brett's just an honest man. We probably could have had a much different list, all right? Just saying. Hogan could have made my list still, but
hard to beat Chris Benoit.
I mean, look, I think he was... he was 5th on my list last week, and we didn't have AJ here to throw it off.
Yeah, that's a great point. No offense, Joe, but AJ's making a great point, and this is the thing. And I'm a hardcore wrestling fan too, but a lot of hardcore wrestling fans do this. We get on our soapbox once in a while, and we're gonna go like, okay, the Warrior was a trash person. He makes a top heel. I get it. You're not wrong. But we give Chris Benoit a pass because he was the greatest fucking wrestler that ever lived. He murdered his wife and kids in cold blood. He broke her back. It wasn't like it was like just a situation where he like, we were fighting a guy. No, he snapped her fucking back. I'm sorry.
I know, but I'm still a Benoit fan, man. I don't want to be.
Hard to be New Jack.
Hey, I mean, look. At the end of the day, too. Obviously, he's loving it. Benoit had a lot of head trauma, and there's always stuff.
AJ, you just take you off camera so you can get.
He knows what I'm saying. It's true. And we love Chris Benoit. Me and AJ sat in there at fucking, it was the apartment we lived in, and we were like, Royal Rumble fucking 03, 04, whatever it was. And we were like, come on, take that title off of Kurt Angle. He was so fucking close. We loved it. But goddamn, son, if you're going to bring up some shit that people did, I mean, I'm just saying.
Okay, if you want to keep it inside the wrestling business for the Ultimate Warrior, how about holding up Vince for money? You know,
again, I think that goes out
agreeing to participate.
Again, I think maybe that goes outside of it too. Jeff Jarrett did the same thing too, by the way.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he would be on the list if I thought of it.
Yeah,
I would like to point out
it was so egregious.
I would like to point out somebody who didn't make any of our lists. Yeah. Vince McMahon is a heel.
I was thinking about him on the ride home.
Vince at least donated to some charities. So fucking Warrior was like, what did he do? Frustricity or whatever the fuck that was?
I just meant as a character, Vince McMahon. I'm not even talking about off-camera events.
Yeah, that's a great
Buzz
point.
brought up Jake
And by
the
the way,
Snake. I'm
The
surprised he
Buzz has
didn't make
mentioned
any
Jake the
parlay.
Snake. Yeah, that's an excellent choice as well, too. All right. We got to move on. We got to narrow this down a little bit.
I know we're playing enough
Um,
grab ass here. So who made the top 3? It has to be Flair.
Flair was on the list multiple times. Actually,
Ted DiBiase was actually on
so
multiple
was
times.
the Sheik and Blanchard.
Yeah.
All right,
So-
so Flair,
I-
Sheik,
I-
and
I want to talk about Ted DiBiase for a second. When he turned, and Dave, you know this, you were a UWF guy.
Oh, yeah.
When he turned in Mid-South on the Junkyard Dog and turned and actually became a heel, he was the top baby face. He wasn't just a baby face. He was the top baby face and became the ultimate heel in that organization.
So here's the weird thing, though. I was a UWF Mid-South guy. However, when I tuned in, Ted had came back to a babyface. So I
Gotcha.
actually did not get to enjoy a lot of his heel work until he got to WWE Million Dollar Man. I thought, wow, this guy's so good as a heel. And I didn't realize he had a lifetime of experience as a
You're
heel.
damn right, Randy. AJ is a good heel.
AJ Styles,
he
baby, one of the
almost
best heels.
lost his breath laughing about Benoit. Well, he is definitely a heel.
Yeah. So, all right. I think we get Flair Blanchard in here, the Horsemen. I think, based off our votes, they got to make the list. And
I was gonna
Flair and
say
Flair and Blanchard became what a cool heel would eventually become, not because they were trying to be the cool heel,
right.
but they became the pattern later on that people would use to try and be a cool heel
Mhm.
because they made people cheer for them because of how bad they were.
Sure. Joe, you got to add something. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, does the Sheik make the list because he was actually a heel, and I don't remember him having much of any babyface run.
Let's tell
I
a
don't
story real
think people
quick. Go
today-
ahead.
Oh, you can tell your story, but all I was going to say is that people today don't realize people were actually terrified of the Sheik. They
Yeah.
thought that he was going to throw fire at them, stab them, attack
So
them.
good.
People were actually terrified of the Sheik. In Detroit, to this day, if you mention the Sheik, they're more afraid of him than they are the violence in the city.
More afraid of him than the Ultimate Warrior. Hey, listen, the Sheik.
But not Benoit.
Not been wild. That motherfucker break your back, son. Hey, listen. Great story though. I heard Al Snow say this one time too. Sheik sometimes would go into restaurants and he'd be in fucking character. Like he would point to the menu what he wanted. He'd still give the money and shit, but then occasionally would just go into outbursts, would start looking up or would start, yell something. It's just so people would be freaked out. This guy protected that gimmick and, he wanted to make money. And hey, God bless him. So for me, take that into consideration. Yeah, he's not a top 3. I got no problem with that.
And look at how he affected Sabu, because how much did Sabu stay in character because of what he learned from his uncle?
Damn right.
Now, if we're gonna give it to Flair, Blanchard, the Sheik, let's
I
not
say-
vote people out one by one. Let's just pick a winner out of these group.
I'm gonna throw you guys off here because I was a huge Flair fan as a kid,
Mhm.
but to me the best he's not the best heel of this group because he went back and forth far more often than the other two.
Okay.
I believe Tully was a better pure heel, and I believe the Sheik was a better pure heel than Flair. Doesn't take away from his ability to be a heel. I'm just saying the other two were such pure heels.
Sure. Let's throw this out. I'll let Joe pick. Let's do devil's advocate. I'll provide the counterpoint. I'm not totally disagreeing with you, by the way. The counterpoint to me is who was the most impactful heel? Well, that's Nature Boy Ric Flair. That's the guy right there who drew the fucking house. That's everybody came. Yeah, Sheik did it in a regional area. And yeah, Blanchard was a good, consistent heel. But boy, they came to see Dusty Rhodes whip Ric Flair's ass. And they want to see Maggie J beat up Ric Flair. They want to see the Rock and Roll Express beat up Ric Flair. Flair drew the house. He drew the money because he was such a damn good heel.
But
Dave, it's one of the-
and
You times
that's a-
that I'm gonna disagree with you, brother.
That's fine. I was waiting for it.
no, that is a good that is a good argument. It really is because he did draw the house there with Dusty, but you needed and you do have to have the heel to do it. But like I said before, I just feel like the other two they
It depends how you
focus
want to
so
define
much
it.
on being cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
depends how you want to find it. I wanted to provide a different argument. I'll say this too. Same thing with Rowdy Piper. Roddy Piper is responsible for the big surge in wrestling too.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, if Hulk Hogan didn't have Roddy Piper over there kicking Cyndi Lauper in the face and saying racist shit to Mr. T and jumping Mr. T from behind, Hogan probably wouldn't have been as big as he was.
Oh,
I mean,
100%.
yeah. So
All right, guys.
Piper could fit
Narrow
it.
this
Piper could
down.
fit in
We're
any one of
gonna
those.
pick between the Sheik and Tully Blanchard, and I got to give the vote to the Sheik.
okay, see where we're going. I don't think this was AJ's plan. I see a look on his face and like, wait a minute, motherfucker. I was just trying to get Flair out of here. I wanted to give it to Tully. This old fucking goofball in restaurants yelling at the fucking stars. He wasn't supposed to really win this thing. So I'll tell you what. I'm gonna tell you like it is. You know what? So based off this, okay, both are pure heels. Okay.
Tully's
Both were
interviews
consistent.
about Baby Doll. Oof.
Tully hit a bitch. I will say this: Sheik would have hit a bitch. I wouldn't doubt it. I'm gonna go with the Sheik too, because here's why: Sheik drew the house again, and even though it was a regional level, Tully never got to because he had to take a back seat to Flair.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to agree with you guys. 'Cause you both suck.
Yeah, you worked. You made a compelling argument, and then Joe was like, "Yeah, the Sheik, I got it." And they're just like, "No, wait, I'm trying to get Tully in this motherfucker."
Like a good heel, I'm going to do the job, but I'm going to
Yeah.
complain about it the whole fucking way.
There you go.
Tully was the man.
All right.
I'm only moving on, guys, because we also have tonight's MLW, AEW,
Mhm.
and NXT card.
We only
There's
moving
a
on
lot
because
of
there's a
good
knock at the door. He's trying to get this blower fixed.
Which is also the
Tell 'em
line
that's
game.
what we ready for. War. Tell them that's what we ready for. War. Bringing that to competitors. Till we see the confetti fall, be ready for war. Tell them that's what we ready for. War. Tell them that's what we ready for. War. Bringing that to competitors. Till we see the confetti fall, be ready for war. Tell them I'm ready, any opponent. The crown heavy and every minute is chosen. A path only fit for kings, and you won't know what this court means. What did you enlist for? If it isn't getting more rings, then you gon' have to switch your team. Trust me, it gets more mean. I'm a nightmare going up against your dreams. First step is explosive like a bomb hit. Bet if I let it fly, I cannot miss. And you ain't got a chance at the top 10 when you getting clamped all night by your locksmith. On the block, throwing lobs to my top bigs. I'm a chef, no look with the top dish. Tie game through the pressure as the clock ticks. Crossover, step back, hit a shot, swish. Tell them that's what we ready for. Tell them that's what we ready for. Bringing that to competitors. Till we see the confetti fall, be ready for war. This is how champions are made, but it never happens in a day. It's all hard work, but it's why what happens when we play 9 out of 10 times. I'ma left you with.
All right, so tonight, focus as always is typically on AEW and NXT. But Dave, we're big fans of MLW, and they've got a couple big things popping off tonight. You want to tell us real quick about MLW?
Yeah, we got Hammerstone versus Mads Kruger. It's a Bakali Brawl, I believe is how you say it.
Yeah.
All right. We got Los Parks versus TJP and Bukado. Bukado? Joe?
Buku Dao.
Bukudao. We got Jordan Oliver versus one half of the Sentai Death Squad. We don't know which one that is yet. We got Gringo Loco versus Gino Medina. And just announced Leo Rush is going to make a major announcement about an interpromotional title match coming up.
Did you say that Kruger and Hammerstone are fighting over broccoli?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, they're having some kind of interesting street fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want
I
to
know
eat
that
that shit
Kruger
either.
guy, too. I feel like maybe we've talked to him before. He looks damn familiar.
He looks very, very familiar.
Yeah, I'd say Bukado?
Buku Dao.
Bukudao.
Oh, they're having a bukkake.
Yeah. Bukaki
Ooh,
Dao. And TJP versus Los Parks, though. I think that's going to be the match of the night there on AEW. I'm on MLW.
And Los Parks are actually using the Freebird rule for who defends the titles. That was something I just noticed MLW put out.
Mhm.
Now, real quickly about that interpromotional fight, who do you see Leo Rush going up against?
I think it's Laredo Kid.
All right, you think it's a AAA?
I think so
fight?
too.
Yeah, look at his
I
Dave
think
and
that's where
AJ
they're going
comment on
also.
here. Wonder who that could be.
Even AJ's popped up. They want a team with Randy Osga.
We
Now,
might
tonight-
take on producer Joe and Big Dave.
Somehow I'm on both teams, I feel like.
Come at us
Anyway.
with the title, bro. Tonight we got AEW Beach Blast. Is the wedding tonight or is that on Beach Blast Part 2?
No, that's tonight. There's no
Oh,
part two of
That's
this.
tonight. There's no.
Oh wow, I thought there was a Part 2.
No, it's not like the last time. No, this is a one-night event.
Okay. Now,
Yeah.
what do they got lined up for that? We got the big 6-man tag match in the main event.
Yeah, there's a tag team battle royal with all the top teams. Winner gets a shot at Revolution. Unless the Bucks win, then the Bucks get to pick who they get to wrestle at Revolution.
They alluded towards the fact that they would want to pick the Good Brothers.
Well, they looked over
they
at the Good
alluded-
Brothers and
over
smiled.
at
Everybody too sweeted. Yeah, so we'll see where that
But
goes.
the match I'm looking forward to is Lance Hoyt versus Eddie Kingston.
Yeah,
I think that's going to be a
lumberjack match.
yeah, that's going to be a freaking fight.
Yeah. We also got Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker. That's been built up for months. Matt Hardy and Hangman Page got added against Chaos Project. And like Joe said, we got the big main event. Pac, Ray Phoenix, Moxley versus Omega and the Good Brothers. Plus Sting and Darby Allin are supposed to make an appearance live. So
What do you guys
stack
think?
show.
What do you guys think about the Hangman and Matt Hardy stuff?
I wish Hangman would lead the Dark Order, honestly. I kind of think there's something there. I kind of like it. I don't really care for Matt Hardy with Hangman.
Even on BTE this week, they had interaction with Hangman and Anna Jay outside the sleepover thingy that they were doing,
Mm-hmm.
and she was like, "You broke all of their hearts, right?"
Yeah, yelled at him to get the hell out of here.
Exactly. That's
And
the
Five was wondering what the hell's going on. Five's like, come on, bitch.
Yeah, I think that hopefully something will happen with Matt Hardy where he'll go back to the Dark Order because that's where he belongs, quite
You
frankly,
mean
right now.
Hangman?
Yeah, Hangman.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Matt
no,
Hardy went
not
to the
Matt
Dark
Hardy.
Order. Yeah.
No.
Now, guys, NXT has quite a hell of a draw tonight. And
Oof.
I think it might be the show I watch.
I'm going
Bizarre.
to watch AEW.
Yeah, he always does. That's how to play. It's funny because AJ has his viewing habits, and it's very strange if you really like. I'm not even going to fucking get into that. We'll talk about that in a second. Preview of tonight's show.
I feel like
We
that's
got
a
the
whole nother
Undisputed Era. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a whole fucking other episode we can do on that. We got Cole and Roderick Strong versus Ciampa and Thatcher. Should be a hell of a match. Lucha House Party versus Raul Mendoza, Joaquin Wilde, Dakota Kai, and Raquel Gonzalez versus
I'm pretty sure
Kaden
she
Carter.
goes by the. I think she
Does
goes
not
by
go
the
by
Giant.
Giant Gonzalez. And Casey Catanzaro is the other one I was going to say. We got
Who is
Escobar.
not a Giant.
No, she's not. Escobar versus Kurt Stallion for the Cruiserweight belt. And what Joe was alluding to, the big attraction, what's going on? Edge is on NXT tonight. Thank you, Randy. So
I think he's actually just coming to support his wife.
yeah, that's gonna be some shit, huh? We just shows up to do commentary. Like, that's cool. Thanks, Edge.
Now, what do you guys see Edge doing on NXT tonight?
I
Do
think
you
he's calling out
see him
Bauer.
challenging anyone?
Yeah, I think
Well,
he's gonna
well, I heard-
wrestle Bauer.
I heard a horrible rumor earlier about what was it? Freaking
He's talking about the
what's
Slack
his name?
channel. We'll fucking give credit where it's due. Josh DeBoer had said that Edge and
Don't throw
Damian
dirt on the
Priest.
man's name. Josh DeBoard is a good goddamn citizen.
Yeah,
I love Josh. I just can't believe I don't know where he got this from.
yeah, we didn't see it anywhere. But
That's,
Edge and Damian Priest versus Bauer and O'Reilly was supposedly is what he thought was going to happen tonight. So I don't know if it will. I'd be fine with that. It'd be a great match. But I
You
haven't
guys
seen
gonna
anything
look
listed.
silly when that shit comes up as the main event.
We will look silly. That's fine. I'll be happy. I'll be happy.
I would love to see at WrestleMania Edge versus Balor. I think that would make a great moment for Finn Balor's career,
Mhm.
and it would be fantastic for the brand itself.
It will be, but I'll tell you
So-
another. I'll throw devil's advocate out there. I like Edge wins the title from Finn Balor at Takeover, pops a big rating for them. You know, he's the NXT champion for a little while. Goes on to try to win the SmackDown World Title from Roman. Maybe he does win it. He has both belts for a bit, and then eventually he drops the NXT title to somebody, Karrion Kross, and now Karrion Kross is even a bigger star. He beat the world champion on SmackDown and the NXT champion down the line, and because I think Edge's going to be around for a little while.
I'll be honest with you, with Karrion Kross's style, I would feel very, very uncomfortable with him in a match with Edge.
They can work
Just
it.
because
I'm not.
of you-
I'd be a little. I know what you mean.
I know they can. I'm just saying that with the suplex style and the hard style of Karrion Kross versus an Edge who looks like he could be my father.
Hey,
I'm not.
how fun would it be to have Edge and Christian on NXT too?
Oh, that would be amazing.
I'd like to see that. I mean, against the Undisputed Era.
By the way, Christian is cleared to wrestle.
Yeah,
Period.
yeah, he's back. I don't know what they're doing with
went to
medicine now, but
Pittsburgh,
these
he
guys are
got
coming
cleared.
back.
Yeah,
Yeah, we didn't
He
talk
is
about that
completely
coming off
weird.
Rumble.
Yeah, that was a big shock to me. I liked it, but it pissed me off in a way because so I watched up into the Women's Rumble, and then I had to go to bed, and I was like, all right, I'm not going to spoil anything. And I made the mistake of logging onto Facebook, and I saw Edge won the Rumble. I'm like, shit, all right, fine. And I saw Roman won the Last Man Standing match. Okay, so I'll listen to post review. Figured, well, I already know what happened on the card. And then I hear Christian won, and I was like, what? And I was like, what the fuck? I could have been surprised still. I could have went home and watched it because I'm a big Christian fan. I wanted to see that. So
The biggest challenge that I had the night of the Royal Rumble was not telling Dave that Christian's back.
yeah, I think I sent it to the group. Jake had sent it to me. It was that picture of Christian and Edge hugging, where it's in the text. It says, "Dad, why are you crying so fucking loud?"
When I saw them hug in the middle of the ring, all I could think of was me and Dave.
I love you. Tully Blanchard should have won.
People are going to see that when we can finally tape in person again.
Bianca Belair. I thought, by the way, it was a great babyface promo. We're not going to be on the Rumble all night, but I just want to say that, add that too. I thought, what a great thing letting that girl actually speak from the heart, because to me, she became the ultimate babyface. When she starts thanking mom, dad, I'm a bitch nowadays. Like, I'm getting older, so I'm like, oh, girl, I'm so happy for you. You did it. Hey, Joe, did anybody in the comments have an answer for the question? Because I do have
Nobody has dropped it in the comments, but I believe you told me earlier that we had a couple social media replies.
We did. So I always give it the first prize in the comments because I know you're watching. But in that case, Stephanie Marone out in Walcott, Connecticut, you're getting behind the wrestling behind the merch, the Pro Wrestling Tees documentary.
She is a huge fan of producer Joe. Can't stand my ass, but she loves producer Joe.
Yeah, she's a big fan. All right.
Now, guys, there's a little news this week that I just want to bring up real quickly because everybody knows we started off as indie wrestling with an edge, and Beyond Wrestling was on Independent Wrestling TV. Just this week, IWTV had some footage uploaded to Pluto TV. It's a free app. You can watch movies, sports, but they have independent wrestling on there. So go on, check it out, and then further support those companies that you see on there.
Joe, speaking of independent wrestling, coming up the 6th, February 6th, it's a 4:30 bell time, 4:30 enter the building time, 5 o'clock bell time, Knockout Live. The best independent wrestling in all of Florida is going to have one of the top matches that you're going to see this year. They're going to have the heroes of the company going up against Johnny Walker, and they're going to go against the Magnificent Mayhem, and they're going for the rights of the company. Whoever wins this match is actually going to take over the company.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, if you're not familiar with Knockout Wrestling, your boys here, producer Joe and Dave, are actually the lead commentators for them. So you're going to want to check this out.
So I was going to say, we have a vested interest. We need to know what we're going to be calling this shit. So, we got
who's going to be signing our paychecks now? Is it going to be Johnny Walker? Is Magnificent Mayhem going to clear those checks like Nicholas Vick does?
I know who I'm cheering for in this. I'm cheering for Johnny Walker. You know me. I'm always behind the heels. I'm always going for the bad guys. Johnny Walker and Mayhem are going to kick the shit out of those sissies from Knockout.
Damn, baby. Just make sure we got a job still. That's all I care about. Joe's got a boiler. Joe's got boiler problems. You got to sign off here quick.
I was gonna say I got
Wait,
boiler.
wait, wait.
We are
I do have
pushing
one-
up against the start of MLW, so I'm gonna give AJ the last word since I've cut him off multiple times tonight.
Throw a sweater on.
No. I just have one more question. I saw down in the notes that Randy Osgood says he's not in the group. I don't know what group he's talking about because he's in this group and he's right here in this heart.
On that note,
Are you gonna make a comeback in knockout wrestling? You have wrestled in Florida. We talked about that Panhandle trip.
The moment they open up, if I get an invitation down there, I will come down there and whoop as much ass as anybody needs to see.
there you
Well,
have
guys, that's all that needs to be said. So we will see you later. Have a good night.
it.